This is the second bit of Berkoff that we were choreographing.
The face stopped resembled the arsehole of an elephant.
So to start off with, my accent is better at the beginning, but you can still tell compared to Bella's that it's not really there still. So I definitely need to try, and even if it's just for that line, because it's said in sync with Bella, it's very obvious if I don't get it. So I definitely need to try, especially for that line, to get it on point and get that accent right.
A face like that won't launch 1,000 shits or pull the scrubbers.
For that bit, we need to be faster going into the pulled faces, because it needs to be defined a lot more, because at the moment it's quite slow getting into it, and as soon as Bruce says the words pull, we need to get into it, just to add that definition that Berkoff wanted and add the staccato type of feel that he created when he was directing this piece.
Into the beds of Edmonton, Grant Hill or Walton Cross.
Also, for those faces, you can tell that Joel's going for it a lot more than me and Bella are. I think that's partially to do with confidence, and Joel just has a lot more of it and can go out extremely a lot more than we can. But also, for me personally, I definitely need to build that up and be able to do it, because if I don't, then it'll just look my performance will look a lot worse than in comparison, because the others will be going for it a lot more than I will.
So, let him have his scars.
I think that sound effect is quite good, because we decide, but it doesn't take away from pace, which I think is quite useful, because we wanted to add it in just to add the little bit of movement, because we didn't really have anything that we thought of other than that. So I think adding that in works well, just because it's kind of like the scars on his face, but also because it's so quick and slick and has that sound effect that Berkoff would have had. I think it's quite effective.
Medals that he flaunts around,
For that bit, we're meant to be like gang members and quite confident and proud of ourselves, but only really Joel's going for it. Bella is slightly, you can tell, because just the way her face is and the way her body looks. But I barely change. I think my arms go a bit straighter, but that's pretty much it. So I definitely need to work on that and be able to go all out for the certain moves that I really need to. And I have this problem a lot, so I'll definitely need to fix it.
Anybody that fancies him to put shit on anything that doesn't want to fancy him.
That little bit we definitely need to add definition to, because at the moment it's just quite fluid in how it would be normally, except with a slightly bigger gap. But we need to be able to add that definition to be true to what Berkoff would have done and follow his style correctly.
Give it for about around the bundle round the back. That don't go down with me. You hear? You scum! Impressionable as the tides that lick on any of the shore and gather up the muck of floating rubbers that have been left from the old and disgusted night before.
I think that lift works well. It doesn't take away from pace, and also when we drop Bruce back down, you can still see his face because me and Bella aren't in the way. So we definitely need to, if we're going to keep the lift, we definitely need to keep that aspect of it and be able to see Bruce's face throughout the entire thing, and keep the pace quite high throughout it.
Sorry. You feed upon the blood that the... I'm sorry, I lost it completely. That are the shed and wipe the bums of hard-faced villains, living by their very...
I think that bit needs to be a bit more defined, because even though we all turn back fairly quickly, it definitely needs to be a turn and stop rather than a turn and keep slightly moving, just to add that definition into it.
Bastard, you go down. Yeah. That don't go down with me. That chorus of some exaggerated slimy punk, as big as your esteem is as it is small.
So overall, I think it looks fairly good, and it does stay true to some of Berkoff's moments, like the sound effects and the attempt at definition within some of the moves. But looking back on it, I don't think we understood it quite as well as we should have, because it seems to be more that Mike is shouting at his gang members because we originally thought that he was shouting at another gang, which is why we joined in on "You hear, you scum." But I think that's actually Mike shouting at us. So we need to go back through it and then possibly re-choreograph some parts to make it make more sense within the context of it. So yeah.